All right, back with another episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast. I am Josue Pavon. Of course, he is Cedric Maxwell. We got a very special guest in the building right now, the virtual building. Boston Globe's Gary Washburn joins this episode to get you ready for the new season, the new Celtics team, and of course, the new NBA season. So many different headlines. We're going to go through them with Gary. How we doing, Gary? What's going on with you?
What's up, fellas? I'm great. Ready for the season to start. Feeling good about this team. Feeling good about the kind of new blood. So we'll see how it goes.
Gary, first of all, we got to keep it real because you never feel good about this team, okay? Now you
I have it in a minute.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised to hear you say that. Yeah,
I
been a while.
Really, I think some of the new acquisitions, some of the guys who have been, dearly departed. I think it's a fresh start, new coach, new philosophy. Some things that they've needed for a while. I think the organization's philosophy was getting tired. It was getting old. It was the same old guys running out there in management, and they needed some fresh blood.
Right.
And then that's what they got.
Are you talking about Danny Ainge?
I'm talking about the people that Danny brought in the organization. I think he kept his cronies and a lot of guys near him.
Damn.
And around. I'm not ripping Danny. Danny did an amazing job in his 18 years, but I think it was time for some new people, some new faces, some new evaluators. I think the team's talent evaluation over the last few years has not been good. They made some serious mistakes in the draft and evaluating. And so I think now you can just see kind of a new breath of fresh air. They got some dogs in this team. Josh Richardson, Dennis Schroeder. I like that they brought Al back. Even in his cancer, I think he'll bring something. So I think this team has a chance to be pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gary, I think the last time you was this excited for a Celtics team, I think Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce are still on the team. If I'm not mistaken. I think it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean,
what was I supposed to be excited when Gordon Hayward was out for the season, when Kyrie was tripping? We can go back. Last time I liked this team was when Isaiah was here. I wish Isaiah all the best. I hope he gets back into the league. But those teams were fun because they had dog. Jay Crowder, dog. Marcus Morris, dog. Yeah. They had dogs in their team. Isaiah, lead dog. They had some tough guys who played hard all the time. That's what a team I like. They weren't the most talented club. LeBron and those guys are more talented. But this team maximized the potential. Over the last year, I felt like they should have gotten to the finals in the bubble. They blew that. And then last year a real pretty much a disaster.
I look at this team. I look at the total thing of this team is there is some changes. And I'm talking to some people around, and the first thing they say, trade. What you need to do is trade and go ahead and you get rid of this guy and get rid of that and make sure that Marcus Smart is the main guy. I said, main guy. I said, you know how you have that sign on your house and said, beware a dog? That's the only dog you got right now. You better make sure that you don't get rid of that particular guy with what he's able to bring to the table. I think this organization has changed some pages. I think Brad has done a pretty good job, and especially when you talk about getting rid of or eliminating some of those guys at the bottom who were never going to help you. As much as I like Taco as a person, from a basketball standpoint, I never saw him being able to bring anything to the table in today's game. And no offense to him as a person, but basketball skills, those things have changed. If you're not able to score the ball from the outside, knock down threes, or be consistent in the paint at blocking shots, then your value to this team was nowhere. So I like some of the changes that the Celtics were able to bring to this table.
I think we saw how Brad felt about the roster. Everybody kind of questioned whether he was going to be dedicated and loyal to the guys that have been there, the Carson Edwards, the Shimmy Ojales, the Tacos, the Tremont Waters, and quite honestly, he wasn't. I mean, he knew, hey, you're a great guy, but you got to go. I got to move you. So,
right.
He's gone. Carson, who, tried his best, but just everybody kind of thought he might be Isaiah Light, that he would be that little man off the bench who could light it up. That never worked. And unfortunately, I mean, he's not even in the league now. Memphis waived him. And then Taco and Tremont, nice guys. You root for them. I know Tremont, I think is in I can't remember what camp he's in. I think Milwaukee.
I thought he was in Houston. Oh, no, he was Milwaukee.
Yeah, Houston Summer League team, but Milwaukee picked him up as
the Summer League team he went to. Yeah,
and then Taco's in Cleveland. But I think Brad kind of understood. I don't think he liked that roster last year. I think he looked at his bench, and then he looked at the bench of Brooklyn and Milwaukee, and you saw veterans. You saw dogs. Mm-hmm. You saw guys who had a role. Hey, my role is 13 minutes to rebound. The PJ Tuckers, and the Blake Griffins, guys who know their role, know they're not stars anymore, or know that they're contributing to winning as opposed to contributing to make an all-star team. And he looked at his bench and he sees, Shimmy and Carson and, Javonte Green and, and I know Grant's back, but Grant, he doesn't have anybody to counter that with. He definitely changed it. This is a deep club now this year.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you look at this team numbers wise when it comes to evaluating them at number what in the Eastern Conference right now? Where do you give that number at?
I think they have a chance to be 4 or 5 or maybe 3. I mean, you got to give them Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Miami. I'm going to wait and see on that because Kyle Lowry's 36, almost a 35. Oladipo, his health, you would like to think Miami is ready to make a real run. They look like they are. They got rid of Dragic for Lowry. They got rid of Precious Achiuwa. I mean, but they got the core there with Jimmy and all those guys. But I'm going to wait and see on Miami to make them third.
Atlanta?
Atlanta, I don't know if can they.
Why do you love Atlanta so much?
Can they be as?
I mean,
good?
I look at what Atlanta did. I mean, you got to
really look at it and say,
can they who was the guard
with a young rock? I mean, you could pick them, and then we don't know nothing about what Philadelphia is going to do. So, with Ben Simmons' situation, so the Celtics have a chance, I think, to be, most likely the best case scenario third, but that 4 or 5, which wouldn't be bad. And I said, I think they could be a good club, but the East is improved, guys. I mean, Charlotte is going to be nothing to mess with because they lost in the play-in game, but they picked up Kelly Oubre. They hope that Gordon is healthy. Terry.
How do you feel about Chicago?
That's a team that I'm not sure about yet. I mean, I've never been a big fan of Billy Donovan's coaching, but now he got some weapons. But Lonzo's got to step up. Lonzo's third stop now. We've yet to see that number 2 overall pick kind of guy, that dominant player who can really, really do it on a nightly basis. I think he's improved, but he got out of LA, because it was just a lot going on, and they had to sign LeBron, so they got rid of him. New Orleans, he was okay, but New Orleans kind of nudged him out because they got Kyra Lewis, the young kid from Alabama, who's going to be in his second year. They kind of nudged Lonzo out. So does DeRozan, how much does he still have left? Vucevic, Kobe White, I like him a lot if he can make shots. Zach LaVine, remember, guys, playing in the final year of his contract. Look out for him this summer in Boston. I'm not talking about the Celtics sign him. I'm starting no rumors.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though. You're seeing these guys
this year.
Yeah,
and the Celtics have a max slot, and I'm not putting a lot of faith that Bradley Beal's going to leave Washington. So look out for that. But Levine's playing with a chip on his shoulder, and we don't know about teams like Indiana with Rick Carlisle. How are they going to do? Is Detroit better? Yeah. What about Washington with Dinwiddie? There's a lot of wild card teams. There's no real. I mean, Toronto. What is Toronto? What do they? What do we know about them? They still got a good core of their team. There's a lot of wild card. There's no team in the East that you look and go, hey, they suck. They're bad.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple, but yeah.
Even Cleveland. Detroit's going to be better. You would think, right? They're going to be young. Cleveland is going to be young, but they're going to be better with that backcourt. I don't look at any team and just go, man, they're just bad. I mean, as the Celtics found out last year, any team can sneak up and beat you. The Celtics lost 3 times to the Pistons last year. I mean,
they did.
Twice to the Cavaliers. So, and I don't think any team in the East, besides, you want to say Toronto, really took a step back and were like, okay, they're not as good. I mean,
But when are we going to talk about the elephants in the room?
Hold on. We'll get there in a second, but hold on. Let me ask you this, Gary, real quick. New era, new cultures. What we've been talking about going into the Celtics season, but head coach Ime Udoka, he took it one step further, right? He's talking about electing 2 brand new captains for the Celtics. Gary, if you're Ime, which 2 players are you picking?
Jalen and Jason.
Thank you. Why is this not the automatic answer for everybody? Max, who are you picking?
Those are your 2 guys. The Celtics go as they go. Like, it's their team now. Kemba gone, Gordon gone, Kyrie gone. Like,
give them the keys.
The max dude on that team besides those 2 in terms of last year you could say it was Kemba had a responsibility because he was a max guy. Like, they got rid of Kemba. Al's a compliment now. I don't know who else you could say. Marcus.
Well, that would be my pick. I would have to have my emotional leader in there someplace as a captain. I'd have to have Marcus Smart because of his ability. I think
Marcus has got to show that he could be more mature on the court. He had a bad year last year.
Well, he might have, but I think
temperament, that half court shot against New Orleans. He lost it a couple of times on the court last year. Not lost it Malice to Palace lost it, but he lost it a couple of mental really mistakes and some things that flagrant fouls. And then I want to see Marcus at 27 years old now, and the senior member of the Celtics act like, listen, this is my. And he got re-upped. He's got his money. He ain't got nothing to complain about. I want to see him take that step and be a leader as opposed to anointing him a leader. I think Jalen is a leader. I think Jason is someone who's turning quietly into a more vocal player. You can tell he's more comfortable in his own skin. Oh boy, here we go, Max. He's more comfortable in his own skin.
You see him, right? He's complaining.
I think that Olympic experience really helped him. Because I think Jason doubted as to do they respect me? Am I a great player? And I think he learned in the Olympics, bro, you was the second best player in Team USA next to KD. It was him. And you
700. Hold on, I'm gonna do it like this: 735 games. Both these guys have played in. You name me the time that either one of those guys has gone up to another guy and said, if you do that shit again, I'm gonna kick your ass.
No, I agree. That's the next step.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree.
So you can't tell me you talk
Chris
about
Middleton,
how
when
this
Chris
team is
Middleton,
gonna roll, but how you gonna roll like that?
No, I agree.
Gotta have my lead
last year
dog.
in Milwaukee, when Chris
that was Max's go-to line. Line.
I agree, Max. When Chris Middleton knocked the hell out of Jason going for a basket, and Jalen kind of came up to him. And then at the end, they were laughing and patting each other no, that's your money man. You ain't touching my money man like that. Jason, both of them got to have more of a mean streak on the floor. Marcus has that mean streak, but I don't know. But here's what Doc Rivers once said, the philosopher, Doc Rivers, you need at least one crazy guy on your team. Okay?
You can say that.
Marcus is that crazy guy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to make the crazy guy your captain, but that's a good thing. Marcus don't back down for nothing.
No,
so
your crazy
I don't think he's a bad decision.
Your crazy guy also has to be one of your best players. One of your best players,
maybe not.
A little crazy.
Ron Artest wasn't the best player. He needs to be a contributor. I don't know if your crazy guy needs to be like a all-star. But he needs to.
Yeah,
they need an enforcer.
Yes, you need a.
They need an enforcer. They need a perk.
You need
the fact
a perk. Yeah, I was gonna say perk.
Robert Williams ain't getting no enforcer. Okay, he's not. He ain't gonna be checking fools in the paint. He ain't gonna be laying no wood.
When you have a championship team, that guy, your lead dog, has to be a little crazy. You can go down the line. When the Celtics won the championship, who was the crazy person on that team? Kevin Garnett, your lead dog. You can look at the team. Look at Durant. Durant is a little crazy. He's your lead dog. Your lead dog has to be Larry Bird. When I played with Larry Bird, he wasn't gonna win no fight, but he wasn't gonna back away from that neither.
That's what they need. They need
that's what I'm talking about.
When Fournier called out Durant in the playoffs, called him a bitch, that's what the Celtics need more now. Fournier gone, he in New York, but Jason sat there. Jason, and I know he looks up to KD, and and Max, you can go off on this way more than me. This AAU era where these dudes go to these camps and then take pictures and work out with these guys. So Tatum's been knowing Kevin Durant since he was 14 years old. And then remember, Durant died. What was the injury? Died to his knee. Remember in the playoffs,
he hit it. First of all, he hit him with an elbow.
3-point shot.
Hit him with an elbow.
Tatum was out for the rest of the game. He ended up coming back for game 2, and Tatum didn't check Durant for that. No, KD, don't get bruh. If anybody knows, don't get under me on a 3. You trying to break my ankle?
Right.
Jason needs to take that step.
Let me go a little bit.
Yeah, that's why Giannis is so different, right, Gary? That's why Giannis is different.
Let me go a little bit further.
Yeah.
Isaiah and Magic were buddies. They played in the playoffs, and what did they become? Hugging enemies.
Yeah, they tried to take.
They hated each other.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean when my lead dog has to be a little crazy. You knew when Detroit played, their best player Isaiah was crazy. You knew that they had a little crazy on their team. And I'm not saying that Tatum has to punch somebody every time, but I'm just saying all you do is go up and check a dude.
You ain't saying.
What I mean by checking the dude is this.
Yeah.
And so we'll all understand it here on this podcast. If somebody does something to you, your line should be, if you do that shit again, I'm going to fuck you up.
No, none of this patting each other on no jersey swaps after the games, none of that. Stop that. You all, Tatum and Brown are trying to be superstars. And you trying to show, let's be honest, the rest of the East didn't respect Boston as much over the last couple of years. They thought they were soft. Miami to lunch money in that series in the bubble. Miami was a tougher team. They played harder, and they took the will from the Celtics. That's embarrassing when a team takes your will. Okay?
Well, how about this? How about when I saw Robert Williams, and I love him as a player, when he was hugging Kyrie's ass like he was a long lost relative.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell is that? This man just came on your court, stomped on the damn leprechaun, and told y'all to go to hell, and you hugging him like he's going to give you your next sandwich. Are you serious? So you
Gail Sayers and he Brian Piccolo. Yeah,
I mean, really, that's what really upset me about the whole Kyrie thing. Even Kevin Garnett talked about it. He said, wait a minute, Cornbread. You and me are the only ones that got mad when it came to what Kyrie Irving did. And I'll say this 1,000 times. Everybody hear me. Kyrie Irving was from a skill standpoint, the best guard the Celtics have ever had at that position. No. I don't think nobody's going to argue that.
His skill set is ridiculous. It's immense.
But what he did, and it pissed me off. When I saw him go to the leprechaun, stomp on it like he was wiping shit off his shoes, I'm like, are you serious?
Like he mad at Boston for something.
And nobody said anything?
No, that's the thing. I didn't see it. I just think you're right, Max. These dudes have to take the next step and be some dogs. Tatum needs to be more of a dog. Brown especially, because Brown got that dog in him. He's an Atlanta kid. You can't be patting Chris Middleton on the back after you knocked your guy down on a breakaway, and it's all good. Hell no. Afterwards,
this would have been the look on my face, bro. I'd have did like this. I'm like, it's all right. That's okay. the next time down,
It
guess
happens.
what?
It's
Guess what?
on.
Okay,
And
I
that's
know
the
what's going to
thing.
happen now.
I
So,
mean, they need to get tougher.
I'm not talking about being
and I
violent.
do think though Richardson and Schroeder,
I'm talking about being respected. That's what I'm talking about, being respected.
Yes,
and
because
that,
I think
I
they
did
lost
not,
the respect.
that I didn't see.
They lost the respect. The rest of the league and the rest of the East didn't respect them, especially after that Miami series. Because Miami took them out, took their will, took their soul out of their chest, and won in 6 games, and they were the less talented team. The Celtics were the more talented team in that series. We all know it, and Miami knew it. But Miami played harder and was better coached. That's why they won that series in 6. Yeah. You let Tyler Hero go for 37 off the bench. Anyway,
we made him a star.
Yeah, you turned him into a cult, one of damn like the Backstreet Boys, something like that, right? You turned him damn Justin Timberlake of the NBA. So to me, they got tougher, and I think Ime's a dog. I could tell by talking to him. He's from Portland, and people, Portland. First of all, Portland got black people. Okay, they got plenty of black folks there, and they got some tough brothers. The David Stoudemire, remember Terrell Brandon, the great.
Oh man,
he's from Portland. Portland's got a good lineage, and they got some tough guys. And I think Ime has that. Like, he knows sitting on the Philadelphia bench and finally the Brooklyn bench, and even San Antonio. Like what the Celtics were about, and that probably what they said in the locker room. You can take their heart, kind of rough them up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I think getting Richardson and getting Schroeder will help them, because Schroeder don't back down. Remember, he went out with Isaiah a couple years ago when he was in Atlanta. Schroeder don't back down from nobody, and Richardson's a dog too.
So, I mean,
He went.
That's one of my takeaways from that. What
you saying? He went to Isaiah.
He went at Isaiah. Remember the playoff series with Atlanta? Him and Schroeder and Isaiah went at it.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait a minute. Are you thinking that's something tough for you to go with a guy who's 5'6"? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that he don't back down.
No, to your point that you were saying,
Isaiah don't look like you just Isaiah thick. Isaiah. I lived in Seattle for 4 years. Seattle brothers like that. Don't doubt the Pacific Northwest. They whoop your ass up there. I've been in some spots. I see some brothers. They're like, okay, Seattle got it. Okay,
I doubt the Pacific Northwest.
It's not just rain and coffee up there. It's not just rain and coffee in the Seahawks.
Gary said Jamal Crawford got hands. I got the hands. Huh?
Some of these dudes can throw hands and see. Don't get it twisted. Don't think, I go. It's some soft brothers. No, don't do that.
No, to Max's point though, right? Because Max was saying this all year last season, right? When is someone going to get into another opponent's face? Guys like Dennis Schroeder, guys like Jason Richardson, these guys will get into people's faces, and maybe that sort of sort of energy will be contagious, because that's exactly what this team needs. I would love to see that from Jalen or Jason.
They need to punch in the mouth first, not be so, and then start these games off. Listen, you were embarrassed last year. You went 36-36. You got thumped out the playoffs in 5 games. Start this schedule. That first game at New York, punch the Knicks in the mouth.
Yeah.
Don't start out 2-4. Make a statement to begin the season. Be mad. That's the one thing I liked when it was like Jay Crowder and Marcus Morris. They came into the arena like the Max Celtics did. Like, we're from Boston, and we brothers in green, and we here to kick your ass. Like,
they beat up Philly in that playoff series,
That's what those teams did. We in here in LA at Staples Center. We here in Portland. We here in Utah. We here to kick your ass. We're the Celtics, and we got fans here because the Celtics travel well. You had that mystique. You had that aura, that confidence, that swag. The Celtics didn't have no swag the last couple of years. Marcus had swag. Kemba, Gordon was always hurt. Like, they didn't have swag. They didn't have, they just didn't have it. And they've got to get it. Like, Jalen's got swag. Jason's got to have that, focus all that the officials toward getting in the opponent's ass. Not trying to be like, cool with Durant. Hey, compete with them or hang out with them off the floor over the summer with Team USA, but try to take their heart out on the floor.
Well, I mean, you're right, because you think about the great players in this league, all of them have had that in them. Even as they say the greatest with Michael Jordan. How many times have we seen Michael Jordan step up to somebody on the other team, say, I'll kick your ass right now? Or with Reggie Miller. And Reggie Miller, as small as he wasn't afraid to get up in somebody's face. That is what I want those two guys to. And I'm telling you, if I saw Jalen do that one time, I think I'd fall out of my seat, because I just don't see. I don't see that. I mean, I just don't see that. And he's one of my favorite players. Yeah. But to get to that next level, he's gonna have to kick some ass and take some names.
I agree. I think
Max,
Jason.
What's the elephant in the room?
The elephant in the room right now, in which room? The Celtics room or the NBA?
I don't know. You said that like 5 minutes ago. You said that. I was
The elephants in the room are Kyrie Irving, if he's gonna play.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
What the hell is he gonna do if he ain't gonna get no shot? And the other one would be in Philadelphia with Ben Simmons.
Yeah. All right. Well, Gary, if you had to predict what happens here with this Kyrie Irving saga, what's the next couple of weeks? What's in store for us if you had to guess? If you had to predict.
Kyrie eventually takes the David shot.
Yeah, I would think so.
And
I also think though that this is. I just think
that Kyrie takes that shot and gets that money and gets his extension.
He's gonna have some kind of weird excuse though. But go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I just think. I mean, it's just, if it's not one thing, it's another with Kyrie. And I enjoyed covering him. I did not have an issue with Kyrie. Like, you just had to understand that he had different personalities, and every day it might be something different in terms of his approach, his personality, his disposition. I think he's a very complex person, but I don't know how happy Kyrie is. I'm not talking about like in Brooklyn or he wants to leave the Nets. I'm talking about like just in general in life. Like most of these dudes, and Max, probably one of those guys, basketball and the lifestyle is enough for them.
That's enough. Yeah.
You play ball, you make money, you buy your mama a house, you can be, hang out, party, women galore. Or
if you're Kyrie, though, let's break it down.
For Kyrie.
What is his issue other than
that basketball doesn't
happy with people around him?
There's something missing that basketball doesn't give him, and that I don't know how much he wants to play. Like I remember in Boston, he was like, "I'm not an 82 game a season guy." That ain't me. Like. Yeah. I don't know how many guys say that, but he just out and said it. Like, bro, you got 70 about what I do. 70. Like that's like, that's like from Boomerang, Boney T talking about I've been on time most of the time last 3 weeks. What about a raise? That's stuff like, hey, I'm on time most of the time, Max. Where my money at?
How much money at?
All right, like Kyrie. I don't know how much. I don't think basketball, and I think people need to understand that. And they think, well, you're rich and you're handsome and you got all that. It doesn't do it for him.
Yeah,
like 95% of the other NBA players, it does it for them. They're happy, they're content. There's not a contentment in Kyrie. So you got to be mad about something. First, it was like, don't go to the bubble. No, fellas, don't go. Buck that. Don't go to the bubble. Last year, it was the pandemic, and I need a mental health break, and I need time away, and basketball ain't it right now. Now it's to get the shot. It's like,
well, how about this? When Nike went out and made him a shoe, and he said, "Fuck that shoe is a piece of shit. Don't buy it." Who does that?
Yeah, to so I think my perspective of Kyrie is,
who does that?
I don't know if anyone's going to get to him and be like, Kyrie, bro, just take the shot. Like,
you know what? He's
not going to bend to authority. He's not going to bend to authority.
That's what
He's not going to succumb to authority.
No, Gary, I think this is it. People like Kyrie don't see all these problems they're creating until they're out of the game. When they're out of the door, now it's like, oh, damn, I did that. And I pissed this person off and I didn't do this. You don't miss your water. You don't miss your water till your well runs dry.
You say happened to Allen Iverson. When the game nudges you out.
His lifetime, over Kyrie's lifetime, people have lined up to kiss his ass. And even with the Celtics, when he was here, there are a lot of things they want him to do from a public relations standpoint. Kyrie said, no, I don't want to do it. And the Celtics did, okay, all right, because we want to sign you as a free agent again. We want to keep you happy. Until somebody steps into his ass, and I think the person who has to step in his ass has to be somebody like Durant, somebody who is better than him. Not his team, but Kevin Durant says something to him, that might resonate. Because we know when LeBron says something to him, that just pissed him the hell off.
Yeah, I think
that Kyrie Irving, at the end of the day, looked at LeBron like, I'm just as good as you, if not better.
Yes, he did.
I think he said about Durant, he said, that dude can make every shot I can make and more. So he respects him a little bit more on the offensive end.
I think I think if you look at Kyrie, okay, he's always I think the level of he was the number 1 overall pick in 2011. So he's 10 years in the league now. He's 29. Okay. There is no guarantee everybody is going to be LeBron or Kobe, God bless his soul, playing to their 36, 37. Okay. Kyrie now is an off-injured player, okay, and becoming more of a headache to organizations. Now, Cleveland looked at Boston and said, see, y'all thought, now you see what we're talking about? And now Boston is saying to Brooklyn, see, now you see what we're talking about? So now he's in his third organization. This was supposed to be his happy place. I'm coming home. I grew up a Mets fan. I'm near my family. All these, it all came together. I'm playing with my friend Kevin Durant and my other buddy DeAndre Jordan. I finally found peace. And how long did peace last? He missed most of his first season with a shoulder injury. Last year, he did the break. We ain't got no peace yet. He has not gotten peace. And I don't know what is going to give Kyrie peace.
Josue, let's do it like this. I want you to do this, Josue. We're all just going to do this. We're all going to pucker up. Like we kissing his ass. I think that's it.
You're going to do that, man. I ain't going to do that.
I think that's the only thing that helps it.
I think at 29 now, he's at that age where his stock and his effectiveness is going to start, and his worth around his market value is going to start slipping. One, on the floor, he's still a very effective player, but he's not durable. Two, he's pushing 30. He'll be 30 in about 6 or 7 months. Sometime March should be 30. It's a big age, and now he's become a headache for organizations. So I'm
going to say this. Does that remind you of maybe the demise of Allen Iverson?
Totally. That's what I said. Iverson.
Yeah.
Think about how Iverson was on this pedestal at one time and in Philadelphia. And then all of a sudden, all these headaches, everything came along with him. They traded him.
Well, he didn't want to come off the bench.
Teams, and he never really was able to fit in with Detroit, with all these teams.
Memphis,
Denver.
Found out
he went back
exactly
to
who he was and how
he
it became we're not kissing your ass anymore.
What you don't want, covering this league for a long time, you do not want the league pushing you up. You want to call your own shot. You want to be Vince. You want to be a value and an asset. Vince Carter was one of the rare superstars who made a capable, positive adjustment to be bench guy, mentor. And he stayed in the league till he's 42 because he was that guy. And he probably could have played this year, to be honest, if he really wanted to. This time, okay, I'm not going to get my championship. I'll go on the TV. But Vince Carter made that adjustment. And if you're not a positive influence in the locker room after you're 30 and you're a damn headache, teams are going to be all set. I got too many young guys on this.
You're expendable.
Charlotte, some of these teams, hey, man, it's too many 19, 20-year-olds that will pick up that. I'm not doing that. No.
Well, how about this? How about Ben Simmons? Young
Yeah,
guy,
I was just about to say. Good segue.
Gary, don't give me that damn shake your damn head and roll your eyes. I don't want to hear that shit from you.
I mean, Ben, I think I agree with Ben Simmons in terms of his time in Philadelphia is over. You can't put the horse back in the barn. Like,
yeah, but Gary, the way he went about this though, he really, man, like,
I just think he feels offended somehow. That
get some thick skin, man.
It was his fault. I look at Ben Simmons
how do you feel offended when it's your fault?
It is, but
you're the one screwing
come on, Max.
Gary,
Max.
all he had to say was,
hold up, Max. Let me ask you something. Hold up.
He could have easily said this. He could have said, last year, I understand that I screwed up.
I don't know. I know
it was my fault. You know what? I'm going to be better this year. And the Philly fans would have been, they would have rolled with him. But instead, he says, I was an all-star last year. I did this. I did that. All these different things.
How are you
surprised? No. Hold on. I'll do you one better. Hold on, Max. This is what it is, right? It's at the end of the day, we lost. Yes, it was my fault, but you guys never had my back. He wanted Doc Rivers to go up there and be like, I still believe in Ben, and Ben's still my guy. He wanted Joel Embiid to go up there and be like, we still believe in Ben. He's still our guy. But they weren't going to do that. He hadn't earned that. He's been in the league long enough that when the pressure was on and he faltered to it, they weren't going to have his back.
How do you not understand the mentality of it's like this? If you loan me money, you loan me $5,000 and I don't pay you back, and you start coming after me for the money, I'm like, I would give you the money, but I don't like the way you came at me about the money. Right. So I ain't giving it to you. Like we all have friends have done that, right?
Yeah.
That was like I didn't like the way you approached me for the money.
I know I owe you that, but I didn't like the way you
I didn't like the way you came at. So in other words, you wrong, but you blaming the other person.
Well, that's right.
Because they didn't coddle you and say, hey, anytime. And that's what Ben is upset. Ben wanted to be caught, like Josue said. He wanted the Sixers. To be like, we got your back.
How do you coddle somebody the way he played? You can't coddle them. You can't coddle them for that.
No, you can't. Last year. But remember, we're talking about the AAU. Who has ever told Ben the harsh truth? Who? His agent? His people?
They don't even force him to shoot, Gary. I thought Doc would, but he didn't. Remember, Max? That was my prediction.
I remember you said, I remember you looked at me, Josue, and the first thing you said is that what's going to happen is Doc Rivers going to force him to shoot. I'm like, dude, he's afraid. He ain't going to shoot no damn threes.
I thought he would go about it the way he did with Rondo. Rondo didn't turn into freaking Ray Allen, but when he had to take shots, he took them because Doc made him.
But you guys know you can't make an NBA player want to be great. There's plenty of guys who are very good, who are very content being pretty good. And if they work, I call it the Lamar Odom syndrome. Lamar had Hall of Fame talent.
Hall of Fame talent.
Hall of Fame talent. Okay, 6'10", can handle the ball, left-handed, woo, 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 woo. Lamar Odom was an amazing player at Rhode Island in high school. He never wanted Rasheed Wallace, the same thing, never wanted to be great, wanted to be pretty good. Yeah. And Odom had, before he had some troubles, what was his career? Pretty good. Rasheed had Hall of Fame. Rasheed should be going to the Hall of Fame, if not along with Chris Bosh and Chris Webber before them. Is Sheed getting in? No. Why? And it's nothing against Sheed. Sheed did not push himself to that level. Ben Simmons does not want to push himself to that level where you're not out hanging with one of the Jenners. You're not partying. You are at the gym. You're doing your clubberlang with the Rock, where you are in some kind of small dark gym shooting 1,000. What they say? I'll show 1,000 jumpers a day. Shooting actually getting one of your cronies, the ones that you support, the ones you getting them all his women, getting him to rebound for you, and then you shoot 1,000 jumpers a day from 9 to 5, 3 days, whatever you got to do to improve your jumper, or hire a shooting coach or someone. Max, you know better than any of us. You can't make you played with players who didn't want to be great.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned Lamar Odom, man. Because my high school basketball coach, he told me Lamar Odom could be the best player in the NBA if he really wanted
to. He could have. He just was good with being pretty good. The lifestyle, the women, the alcohol, the partying was like, hey, it's a Saturday. You think I'm gonna go to the gym or I'm gonna go to the club?
He divided.
Like, let's
divided everything. Yeah.
Kobe was at the gym. Michael Jordan was at the gym, right? LeBron is at the gym. Okay.
Shit, even Giannis, man. Giannis is in there.
You don't know what Ben's offseason regimen is. Like, you don't know how hard he works. We've never.
Why did he run to LA too? What is that? Is that where his girl's at? What's going on, man?
I don't get it. Everybody lives in LA. I mean, it's Malibu.
No, but you know when you read that though, you were like, he's not going to do exclusive workouts.
No, he's not working out with some coach.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's going for the lifestyle. And I think that's the thing when you pay these guys exorbitant salaries. Some guys are good with the mid-level, man. Like they don't want to be maxed. They're good with that $9 million. They're like I covered, and he played in Boston. A guy named Chris Wilcox, who was draft pick of the Clippers, and I covered him with the Clippers and I covered him with Seattle. And Chris played hard. He was a free agent, a pending free agent. He got to Seattle and played his ass off in his walk year. That second half of that year, he averaged like 16 and 8, running the floor. Chris Wilcox ended Chris Mims' career, the big white kid from Texas, ended his career. He dunked on him so hard, Mim landed on his leg awkwardly and broke his leg. Serious. I was there that night. Like, he dunked on him so hard.
Paul got him once. Pierce got him once.
I don't think Chris Mim ever played again after that, getting dunked on. Like, because, I mean, and you saw Wilcox when he was here, Max. Long arms, run like a deer. He signed a 3-year, $19 million deal. That was good for him. That was good enough for him. He didn't want to be Max. That was a good mid-level. Like, he was like, I'm making $6. My family is poor in North Carolina. I grew up poor in North Carolina, and I'm making $6 million. I'm good.
Well, that's like making 12 nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Or something like
so you're asking certain athletes in the league to want to be great on their own, because I don't care what Doc does. Doc can send a coach to Ben Simmons' door and be like, I'm here to work with you. Dude, you better get the fuck out my damn lawn. Call security on your ass. Take your ass. Like, excuse my language, but like,
Ray Allen can show up. He still did the same thing.
The former players, you can get AI, you can get all these dudes to want to work with Ben, and Ben could be like, no, I'm good. I'll work on my own, because it's a pride thing too. You have to admit that you're not good at something. Ben, 6'11", good-looking dude, always number 1 overall pick. Wallace has never been told, "Do you suck at shooting?" Like, and he that's not right. He reads it. He reads it, Max. He came in the league right. He came in the league. It takes, like you said, Max. It takes someone.
He came in the league. He said he sucked when he came in the league.
Yeah,
we talked about that.
It takes someone, like you said earlier, Max. It takes someone who is better than him, like a Magic Johnson. Magic work. Remember, it was Magic couldn't shoot when he came into the league. Neither could Jason Kidd. They became capable shooters, both of them. Magic, when he used to shoot in the back in the day, well, oh boy.
I never see him shoot on the highlights. All the highlights I've seen, I've never seen
Magic. First, second, third year Magic. I love Magic to death. One of my favorite Lakers. My favorite Lakers, Kareem. But
oh my God, let me take a sip of this bullshit. You.
We're not the Lakers fans. My favorite Laker, Kareem. Okay, my favorite Laker, James Worthy.
Cali, Gary, you're Cali guy.
James Worthy. I think they're back. No, I'm messing with you.
Get off his job.
Gary, how much did Cedric Maxwell used to piss you off back in the day as a Lakers fan?
Oh, man, let's not talk about that. Max knows.
I know, but I want the people to know.
Here's the thing.
All my family, all my uncles thought that they didn't understand the draft system. Okay, they thought we've talked about this before, but if people want to know, they thought that Max, when he came out of NC Charlotte, got a list of teams he wanted to play for, and we see in 1977, where is the best place for a black man to live? Atlanta, no, hell no. LA, no, I ain't going to LA. Houston, nope. Boston, that's it. I'm gonna live in Boston. 2 years after the busing riots.
I was just gonna say that was like 2 years. Right?
Yeah, after the busing riots, people think Max chose to play him. ML Carr chose Boston. So
why did you think that way?
Huh?
Why did you think that way?
I didn't think that way.
You knew
my uncles. They didn't understand the draft.
Why did you hate me? That would be.
I didn't hate Max. I didn't hate you at all. I didn't like ML Carr. Towel waving. If ML Carr walked to South Central in 1985, he'd have got whooped. Sorry. Yeah,
Max, that's your boy too, Max. Max knows it's true.
I love ML. He's a great guy. Nothing against him.
Max. If the Lakers had an ML, you'd be still mad at that.
Damn, at least Maxwell.
In 1984, after we beat the Lakers, ML Carr went out to the Olympics and went to Fatburger, and they wouldn't serve him because he played with
exactly.
The guy said,
you ain't get no double burger on my watch.
Aren't you ML Carr? He said, I have a hamburger. The guy said, aren't you ML Carr? He said, yeah. He said, I'm not serving you. He called the manager.
No.
He said, hell no, I'm not serving this guy. Man, it was a game.
If I do, I'm gonna probably put something in that burger.
Yeah, I wouldn't even trust that sandwich.
Look, you guys were confused about it. It was called a game, man. It was a game.
Try Fatburger,
it wasn't life and death.
No,
you sound like
people love their Lakers.
Ice Cube,
just like they love their Celtics. They love their Lakers.
Yeah, you sound like Ice Cube right now. Ice Cube hating on the Celtics. Hating on my man ML.
Back then, yeah. And didn't nobody.
Yeah, because they both came from the same area, man.
People were scared of Robert Parrish. Like, people don't throw Robert Parrish into that because Robert will beat you down like he did Bill Laimbeer. Like, Robert had that, okay, I don't really like him, but I wouldn't step to Robert Parrish because Robert, Robert never smiled. They called him the chief. Like, you were not going to say nothing in public to Robert Parrish. Robert would kill you, right? Dennis Johnson was literally from Compton. Okay, DJ. So it was like, damn, DJ, really? Like, you from Compton, Pepperdine? Like, DJ was from LA, but it was sort of like, well, you got to do what you got to do. And Max was balling, but it was ML Carr. It was ML damn Carr. You ask any Laker fan from the 80s, who's the dude that pissed you off the most? That Al Raven brother. You were like, and nothing but white folks in the stands behind them at the Garden. And you're like, man, I hate this damn dude. So yeah, I understand why you went to Fatburger.
You know what? That's what they.
And the brother in the back was like, hell no.
This is what the Lakers used to call ML Carr. They used to call him Chicken George. That from Roots. That's how
you gotta watch Roots to get the reference.
And I didn't like that.
Google Roots. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I didn't like it.
I wouldn't go that low.
He said I didn't like that. He said I didn't like that.
I wanted them to
go that low.
I wanted the Laker fans to think I was Django. Okay, that's what I wanted them to think I was. I didn't give a damn one way or the other.
I can't, man.
I'm here to whoop your ass, and ain't nothing you gonna do about it.
Wait, Gary, let me ask you this though: is what he just said the reference from Roots? Is the character somewhat of a Samuel L. Jackson in Django? That kind of character?
Yeah, he's kind of the original. Chicken George was a character in Roots who they called him Chicken George because he fought roosters and chickens, and he was a slave who bonded with his master, and his master.
Yeah. We okay, master.
Because he was a master. He was a master cockfighter.
Yeah.
So he was like, yes, sir. Here's the like he was. Yeah, it was a. who played Chicken George? Josue. Here's a reference for you. Will Smith's father in The Fresh Prince, the one that left Will Smith hanging.
Oh man, he was Chicken George. Oh,
he was
man.
Chicken George. Ben Vereen, great dancer, great actor. But yeah, if you Ben Vereen is Chicken George, I know for a younger generation, he's Will's father that like left him hanging and how come you don't love me? So that. But
man, that scene gets me every time, man. Come on.
Yeah, it does make you cry. But for us, he's Chicken George. He was Chicken like, oh, damn, Chicken George is on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So you couldn't take him seriously. You're like, oh, that's Chicken George.
Yeah, Chicken George. Yeah,
right.
Chicken George. Like, no, not to be funny. Like, you know, there's certain dudes you just call them by.
They're forever that dude.
When I grew up in L.A. The dude who played Grady from Sanford and Son lived in our neighborhood. They called him Grady. Like y'all know some TV character. Black folks call him Grady. It was
still
like,
wait a minute.
Hey, what's up, Grady?
He's a grown man. They called a grown ass man Grady.
They called him Grady. Whitman Mayo. God bless him. Whitman Mayo.
Let me say this.
Lived in our neighborhood, and they were like, and the people would see him and be like, "What's up, Grady?" Like he was like it was another episode of Sanford and Son.
What would he say? Would he acknowledge you?
He would acknowledge it. He knew he knew that was his most popular character. He was Grady. So black people was like, "What's up, Grady?" You know, yep. His name was not Grady.
Yeah, I told you this before, and I'll say it again, man. I still think the first 35, 40 minutes of Harlem Nights is underrated, man. Underrated. Red Fox. After that, the movie goes downhill after that, but it's hilarious.
No, the movie was from a standpoint of dressing and jokes. I thought it was superb. With the people like Richard Pryor in the movie, I think it was an underrated movie.
I think the expectation was too high, man. The people saw the cast and they expected.
No. What was too high was this bullshit Coming to America too. That's what was.
That was okay, man.
Yeah, but you knew that wasn't going to be good, though. You knew that was.
I didn't have a problem. Harlem Nights. First of all, Eddie Murphy should not have directed the movie. He tried to do too much. He bit off more than he could chew with that movie. You bring together freaking Red Fox, Della Reese, Richard Pryor, a young Robin Harris before he passed. Like, you bring in this wealth of talent. If you look at that cast, I mean, Tommy from Martin, Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy's in there. Yeah.
Like, you bring in that whole cast. Fine, Jasmine Guy when she was before she did like when she started Different World, Jasmine Guy. You bring in the late great Danny Aiello. You bring in that type of cast.
Arsenio Hall.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's in there.
He's
the one that's shooting at him.
And the people did not get over as much.
And that one dude with the pistol.
Yeah. Stop it.
What
the hell are you doing?
People thought Eddie was doing.
I hate you.
Eddie was feeling himself during that time.
I love the movie.
I know. I love giving Gary a hard time because he's disappointed by it.
You keep doing. You keep. I'm gonna blow your damn baby toe off.
That's not a fun scene.
There are lines in that
was
movie.
uncomfortable. I'm still uncomfortable these days watching Eddie fight Della Reese. It's like fighting your grandmother. No, that's not funny. That was not a funny scene.
Oh, so you like to hit girls
because she ended up knocking him out. It was funny as hell.
But still, you don't shoot her. You just take the ass whooping.
She came out and said, all right, not right now.
No, when she punches him, though, when she punches him, he's all like, hey, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, man, that gets me every time.
But,
all right.
Yeah, Max, it was not me that hated you. It was my uncles that hated the whole Boston aura. Boston was then, or people had never been there, considered a racist
I'm going to
city.
do this. I'm going to do this. Well, I don't want, this is going to be hard. But Gary, one day, because I can't find his ass when we get to LA. One day, I want to meet your uncles when we go to LA.
Okay.
Oh man!
And meet them so I can talk some noise to them.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say bury the hatchet. He said talk some
noise. No, he ain't bury no hatchet. Come on, we talking about Max here. Max Petty. Right.
I want to meet
Max is petty as hell.
What petty do I really have to
petty
go
Pendergrass.
What uncle is it? Uncle who?
Well, one Uncle Tony. One of my Uncle Tony.
So you petty Pendergrass.
Yeah, you petty Pendergrass.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Cool.
man. All right. On that note, we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. This is fun. Gary, it's always a good time talking, man. Always good to catch up with you. I'm sure I see you at the games and whatnot. Closer to normalcy, right, this season. So that's good,
Yeah,
right?
be more close to normal. And obviously, it's a good atmosphere. I think Max will agree on the opening preseason game. The fans got into it. So it should be a good, more normal year this year. And I think the team will embrace that.
Yeah, it almost felt like a first game of the regular season, man. The atmosphere was
they got hyped when they made that comeback and beat the Magic, after Mo Bamba looked like Shaq, for the first 3 quarters. But
he looked like Kevin Durant. That's what
he was hitting threes, mid range. I was like, damn,
Mo. I was like, damn.
Mo done that, what Ben Simmons should have done, add a little stuff to his skill set. But,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, before we get out of here, Ben Simmons, if I had to call it, man, I could see him getting traded to like a Sacramento or like
Sacramento.
I don't think he goes to one of these top
teams. A team that needs a superstar that will not be able to get them through free agency.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're saying Ben Simmons and Greg Popovich together? No, I don't see that.
That would be tough.
I don't see that. I see Sacramento could be a location that he goes out to, and he might even flourish out there. But he's not going to do that with Greg Popovich, because Greg makes everybody accountable. And one thing we know about this boy is he does not want to be held accountable for shit.
That's true. That's absolutely true. All right, Gary, once again, we appreciate you. Follow Gary on Twitter if you don't already. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's wrong with you, but he's on Twitter at @GWashburnGlobe. Again, Gary, appreciate it, man. We'll talk again soon.
Guys, thanks a lot. I'll see you,
All
man.
right.
We'll talk.
Stop shaking your damn head. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All
Be
right.
a satellite from your car. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Yo, Max is like he's on you about to film a car commercial right now, man. You're about to have a narrator talk.
I appreciate it. All right.
Yeah,
All right,
talk through.
All right.
Later, man.